penny a page sale, who doesn't want to go and attend something like that? It's a Cicero. Yeah. We did not get Cicero from Second and Charles. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Rochelle. I read a variety of books and I also have a disability, and today what we're gonna do is do a little book haul. But this is gonna be a book haul from the Second and Charles Penny a Page event that Charles and I went to. So a few weeks ago I had actually gotten notifications from Second and Charles going and saying that they were doing their penny a page sale again, and the last time they did it, unfortunately, I wasn't able to go and do it. So I was very excited to go to this event because, I mean, a penny a page sale, who doesn't want to go and attend something like that? So before we ended up going, I kind of got prepared and made sure that my little list of books I would like to get was nice and updated, because if you haven't been to Second and Charles before, it can be a little bit overstimulating if you go there for the first time. There's books everywhere, and they also have some toys and knickknacks as well, and there's a very huge kids section, so it can be a lot. And not knowing how many people go to their penny a page sale, I wanted to be a little bit prepared so I didn't get too anxious, or more anxious than I usually do when I leave the house. So yeah, I had that all prepared, and I also had a bunch of the books that you would have seen in one of my unhaul videos that I was going to go and bring there. I didn't really expect them to finish looking through any of those books while we were there, so I didn't want to rely on maybe getting a few extra bucks that I saved because of that. Starting off, when we ended up going and walking around, they actually ended up telling us that in order for a book to count for their penny a page sale, it had to have a specific sticker on it. And of course, with a lot of the books that I wanted, they're a little bit more new and they're a bit more popular. And we did get there, I believe, an hour after they'd already been open. So I didn't really have faith that I'd be able to find those specific books. But I still really wanted to get some books off of my list, one of which was All In by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the third book in the Natural series. I have book 2 and book 4, and I've read the first book, but I've been really wanting to continue on with the series. So this, unfortunately, was a book that I got at full price, but I thought it was worth it because it is a series that I'm pretty sure I'm going to enjoy with the rest of the books, and I really would like to complete the series, so this one was kind of a must in my eyes that I didn't mind paying full price for. Another one that I actually paid full price for was How Bad Things Can Get by Darcy Coates. I'm a huge fan of Darcy Coates' books. I've read quite a few of her backlists so far, and I've kind of been working my way through them. I do actually have the ARC for this book on NetGalley, but when I saw this, I was like, wait, this one doesn't release, I think, until the end of this month or beginning of September, one of the two. So when we were standing in line, which the line actually was all the way to the back of the store, I was like, you know what? I kind of really want to pick up some Darcy Coates books, because a lot of my books didn't really have horror. They might have been thriller, and I just felt weird not picking up a Darcy Coates book going in there. So I had to go and snag this one. I haven't started reading it yet, but that is because I was trying to finish the Full Moon Readathon as well as my TBR for August. So this one I might be saving for September. We shall see, but very excited for this one. Let me also read a little bit of this since it's not in a series. It was supposed to be the party of the century. Miles of idyllic white sand beaches, lush jungle foliage, and a dark legend nobody dreamed might be all too true. When an online influencer and several hundred of his most loyal fans land on Prosperity Island, the plan is simple. 5 days of elaborate games, drinking, and sun-tanned fun. A week in paradise should have been a welcome respite. The only survivor of an infamous cult, Ruth wants nothing more than to keep her head down and not draw attention. She spent decades outrunning her blood-soaked childhood and her identity as a closely held secret. I'm so excited to read this. I'm a little bit nervous about the influencer piece because books that tend to involve influencers just haven't really been something that I've enjoyed. But since it's a Darcy Coates book, I have to go and read it. I love her books. They're such good, quick reads. So I'm gonna have a fun time with this either way, I'm more than certain. So then we have another book by Darcy Coates, and this one is From Below. And honestly, when I was looking through a lot of the Darcy Coates books that they had, I had read most of them, And I think there was one where it had the book too, and the series kind of reminded me of Voices in the Snow, which is one of my all-time favorite Darcy Coates series, but they didn't have the first book. So I took a picture of it, and it's one that I'm gonna have to remember later. But this one is From Below, so it says, no light, no air, no escape. Hundreds of feet beneath the ocean's surface, a graveyard awaits. Years ago, during a routine voyage, the SS Arcadia vanished without a trace. Though a strange garbled emergency message was broadcast, neither the ship nor any of its crew could be found. 60 years later, its wreck has finally been discovered, more than 300 miles from its intended course. A silent graveyard deep beneath the ocean's surface, eagerly waiting for the first sign of life. So I'm not too terrified of oceans per se. I am terrified of sharks. And I think there was one movie I saw years ago where it was like cave divers and they got trapped in the cave. And that one terrified me and stuck with me for a while. But this is Darcy Coates, so I've been working on her backlist, and I feel like I wouldn't do it officially if I didn't read this book as well. So I'm so excited for this one, but also have a feeling this one is going to be one of her books that really scares the crap out of me. And then last book that I did get for full price was Jade City by Fonda Lee. This is one that has been on my list to read forever. One of my good friends, Becca, aka Gemini Pages, has read this series and has raved about it nonstop, and ever since she mentioned how much she loved this series, it immediately was boosted up on my list to go and read. And so even though this one was full price, I absolutely had to go and get it because I have a feeling I'm gonna love this series, and I believe the covers of these books will change either this month or maybe in September, and I really love this edition of the covers, so I really want to get my copies that have this matching cover so that they can all go together on my bookshelves. For centuries, honorable green bone warriors have used magical jade to enhance their abilities and defend the island of Kikon from foreign invasion. Now the war is over and a new generation vies for control of Kikon's bustling capital city. 4 siblings of the powerful Cole family must prepare for battle, and the fragile peace between the clans is about to break. I am so excited. These are also really thick books, but I have a feeling that I'm going to zoom through these books so quickly during the fall because that is just the time that I flourish and enjoy reading the most books. Then let's move on to the books that I actually did get for the penny a page sale. These were the books I got, and we could only get up to 5 books, and honestly I was having a bit of a difficult time. A lot of the books had already kind of been picked through, and a lot of people were mostly in the front of the store and not too many people were towards the back. And towards the back happened to be more of the thriller books. The front seemed to be more fantasy, young adults, and a few, like a very slim horror section. But honestly, if you went to the back, you could find a lot of horror books there as well at the specific Second and Charles I was at. So one of the first ones I got, I decided to look through the sprayed edges. And you know, sprayed edges were definitely going to be a hit or miss, but the one I found was The Scorpion Queen by Mina Fierce. And this one at first I was like, I'm just going to get it because of the sprayed edges. I saw that it had the correct sticker that we needed for it to count for the penny a page. So I was like, you know what? I don't feel like I'm gonna have any luck going and finding any sprayed edges that are gonna count. So I snagged this one, not realizing that because the cover was so different, it completely threw me off. So the actual cover of the book looks like this, and this one has been one that I've been wanting to go and pick up. Although unfortunately I'm a part of the Flatiron First Look program, it wasn't one of the books that I was able to snag, but when I had first heard about it, it was one that I was like, ooh, this is one that definitely intrigues me. Plus it's by a BIPOC author. So also just so you can see what it looks like on the inside. And then this is the cover here, and then we also have this image on the back. So this one is actually an owl crate book, and there's also a bird on the back as well. So this one was a find that I was really excited for at the time, but also like, is this one that I should put back because I'm just kind of picking it up because it is a sprayed copy. But like I said, this one actually was on my radar, so I was very excited to actually realize that this was a book I had wanted. The cover just threw me off. So it says, deep within the imperial palace of Timbuktu, Amanita has suffered a devastating loss. The daughter of a prosperous salt merchant Ami finds her life is cruelly overturned in a matter of months. At 16, she is disinherited, framed for a scandalous crime, and forced to serve Princess Mariama of Mali. Mariama's father, Emperor Suleiman, has created a series of impossible trials for his daughter's suitors. When they fail, he publicly boils them alive, littering Mariama's path to marriage with 99 corpses. This one sounds so interesting, and I'm very excited to go and check it out, and just so stoked that I actually picked up a book that had sprayed edges, was an Owl Crate book, without even realizing it was one that I had really wanted to read. So this one I paid $3.08 for the penny a page sale. Then another book I picked up was Their Vicious Games by Joelle Wellington. And this one I had been on and off multiple times about wanting to go and pick up. And like I was saying in the beginning, when I was at the penny a page sale, I felt like so many books had already been picked out. I wasn't exactly sure if I was going to find anything. So this was one that I kind of walked around holding for a little bit. And then I was like, you know what? No, we're going to go and pick this one up because it has been one that interested me in the past. So it says, you must work twice as hard to get half as much. Adina Walker has known this the entire time she's been on scholarship at the prestigious Edgewater Academy, a school for the uber-rich and mostly white New England upper class. It's why she works so hard to be perfect, above reproach no matter what she has to force under the surface. Even one slip can cost her everything. And it does. One fight, one moment of lost control leaves Adina blacklisted from her top choice Ivy League college and any other. Her only chance to regain the future she's sacrificed everything for is the finish, a high-stakes contest sponsored by Edgewater's founding family in which 12 young ambitious women with exceptional promise are selected to compete in 3 mysterious events: the Ride, the Raid, and the Royal. The winner will be granted entry into the fold of the Remington family, whose wealth and power can open any door. Now, this one might kind of be a little bit out of my range, especially since it is young adult and mostly in the schooling area. But because this one was on the penny a page sale, I was like, you know what, this is a great chance to go and pick it up and read it. And so this one cost me $3.92. Then once I kind of ventured over towards the back of the store, that's really when I started finding more thrillers that were by authors I was genuinely interested in. But before I found those, I found We Were Never Here by Andrea Bartz. And this one was kind of like a thinner book, but I was really intrigued by the premise. So it says, your best friend killed a man, now she needs your help again. Emily is having the time of her life with her friend Kristen in the stunning mountains of Chile, until she enters their hotel suite to find it covered in blood. Kristen claims that the cute backpacker she brought to the room attacked her, and she had no choice but to kill him in self-defense. Panicked, Emily helps her hide the body, but as the walls close in on their cover-up, she wonders if they can truly outrun their darkest secrets, and if she can really trust her closest friend. After all, this isn't the first time one of their trips has ended in bloodshed. This was one that I don't think I ever heard about when it came out, so I was really excited to go and pick this one up, and this one was $3.19. So a lot of the books that I was getting kind of were a little bit over $3. I was really hoping to find a book that was around 500 pages or so, especially for the penny a page sale, but that didn't really end up happening. Then I got Lucy Foley, The Guest List, You'd Kill to Be on It. I have really been wanting to read a lot of books by Lucy Foley. I think I might have a couple of hers up on my bookshelf, but I haven't read them just yet. I've kind of been waiting more for the fall season and to just kind of get in the right vibe and mood to read thrillers again. And so I was so excited to go and pick this one up because it also did have the orange sticker on the back. And when I checked my Libib app, I did confirm that I didn't have the book already. So I was being very careful about that to not accidentally pick up a book I already owned. This one says, an exclusive wedding on a remote Irish island. The bride, the plus one, the best man, the wedding planner, the bridesmaid, all have a secret, all have a motive, but only one is a murderer. I'm so excited to pick this one up. It might be a little bit strange, but as some of you may know, next year I'm actually getting married, and for some reason I just really want to read a lot of murder, mystery, or thriller wedding stories. I don't know why, but I'm kind of in the mood to read those. That might be a bad thing. I don't know. I have a very weird humor and taste in books if you can't tell. This one was $3.08. And then last book I got was Alice Feeney, Daisy Darker. This has been one that I've been trying so hard to get on Book Outlet, but every time I'm about ready to go and check out all the books in my cart, this one always gets out of stock. I don't have Book of the Month. I have considered it in the past, but I'm very picky with my books and don't really like that there's a logo here that you'd be able to see with the book on my shelf. But since this is one that I've been really wanting to pick up, I was so excited that they had this, and it was one that counted for the sale. After years of avoiding one another, Daisy Darker's entire family is assembling for Nana's 80th birthday party in Nana's crumbling Gothic house on a tiny tidal island. They're finally back together one last time, and when the tide comes in, they will be cut off from the rest of the world for 8 hours. The family arrives, each of them harboring secrets. Then at the stroke of midnight, as a storm rages, Nana is found dead. An hour later, the next family member follows. I'm so excited for this. I do have a trip coming up. I feel like this would be a great book to like bring for the airplane ride and everything. And this one was $3.35. So out of all these books, I got 5 of the penny a page sale books that counted, and then 4 regular priced books. So total I got 9 books when we were there. But while we were there, they were also doing a little donating a book for the children. And so I did pick out a book that was $7.95 there. So total, I still spent under $100. Yes, I probably would have saved a lot more money if I didn't get some full-priced books, but a lot of them were already on my list, and especially with the Darcy Coates books, I am working through her backlist, and I haven't unhauled a single one of her books that I've read because I have really enjoyed them. So yeah, I'm really excited with the books that I've managed to get from the penny a page sale. I can't wait to go and do this again. There were some people that I know that they actually ended up going and hitting all the different Second and Charles locations. And I was like, you know what? That is so smart. I definitely want to do that next time. So Charles actually did get a bunch of books as well. A few of them were D&D books and things like that. And so we talked about, like, the next time there's a penny a page sale, what we're gonna do is just make a date of it and go to some of the different stores so that we can get those discounts. And then we're gonna have like a hot pot date afterwards, because we kind of have to drive a little bit of a ways, and that just kind of ensures that we can make like a full fun date out of that, because thankfully my partner is a huge bookie as well and enjoys reading a lot of books, not to the extent that I do, but they've definitely been getting a lot more into it, and especially being able to find books that they can use for their D&D sessions, since they DM, is just a huge win. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little Second and Charles haul. I do really enjoy going to used bookstores, not only to unhaul some of my books, but also to find ones that have been on my list for a while, or some hidden gems that I haven't seen before. So if there's any books that you've seen in this haul that you've read and really enjoyed, I'd love to hear about them down in the comments below, or if you actually went to the Second and Charles penny a page sale, if you found any great books, I'd love to hear as well. And if you got it to this point in the video and you don't know what to comment, maybe go and leave a crown for the Scorpion Queen, because I don't think there's a scorpion emote, but if there is one, you can definitely leave that one as well. Thank you so much for watching. I really had so much fun checking out the penny a page sale. It was so neat, and just so much fun getting to see so many book lovers coming out and going and supporting that used bookstore and everything. I actually made $22 with the books that I unhauled and sold there, so I can't wait to go back to Second and Charles, not only to use some coupons that I got, but also to use my store credits as well. But again, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you all being here, and as always, please remember that you're worthy and capable of amazing things. Bye, friends.